All right, all you writers out there, it's time for Friday Live with Elizabeth and Joanie, so you can learn everything you need to know to write, publish, and promote your book. I'm Elizabeth Ann Atkins of Two Sisters Writing and Publishing, and with me is our superstar author, best-selling author, Joanie Lindenmeyer. Nun Better, An Amazing Love Story is her awesome book, and we go live every Friday to share tips with you to write the best book possible. So Joni had a brilliant idea for today's topic. And Joni, would you like to share it?
You bet. It's called No Boxes. It's like be creative. Don't surround yourself in a box and don't even have a box. Just be creative in your writing, your book designing, your formatting, and everything. So hopefully with literary genius Elizabeth today, she's going to guide us some creative ways of how to improve the writing creative wise.
Creatively. Thank you,
Creatively. Thank
Joni.
you.
I love that. So that's a brilliant idea because yes, there are genres. Yes, there are certain style elements that we use. However, with your book, it's your creative genius that is free to let loose, go wild, and create something unusual and unique, an outlier, something that doesn't always conform to the regular rules. That's what makes it interesting and appealing to people who want something fresh. So how do you do that though, Joni? How did you do that when you were writing None Better and when we just completed Joyously Free, which is with the graphic designer right now to be typeset, formatted for its publication in June?
So how did I do that? That is such a great question. I guess I go back to Mrs. Casebolt in ninth grade English class. And then I went on to Mrs. Pabst and then somebody else and the English teachers in a class called creative writing. And it was like, there's where you're taught how to just let your true self come out, which I think is so amazing because isn't that the name of our next book, joyously free,
Mhm.
living your true self,
Hmm.
finding stories and tips to live your truth. But I think that creative part it is just fun because you can do no wrong, and it's out of the box, and it's whatever you want to express or say in the way you want to say it. You get to
Hmm.
pick your words, your sentence structure, your paragraphs. You do it in a story, you do it in a documentary. And I think that's the fun part. The
Hmm.
real fun part of writing is just to let loose.
Hmm.
You
Yes,
can
yes,
put
yes.
your
Beautiful.
stuff in there. You're the real literary genius. How would you describe it?
Well, just as an example, in your writing, Joni, which you'd never written a book before when you wrote None Better, you let your personality sparkle with all your super high energy bursting from your words. And you use words like wowie, wowzer, yahoo, yippee, and you put them in the book in your writing because that's how you talk, that's how you express yourself. So the
Yes.
key is to express your uniqueness. So, for example, you and I are both super colorful people. We both love colors. Look, Joni's wall is cantaloupe orange or orange sherbet.
Yep.
She's got pride flags. Her living room is lavender. She's got a rose garden outside and all kinds of flowers that just burst. She's wearing a beautiful flower. Her book
Yeah.
cover is pink. Her glasses are red. I've got all these colors and flowers, including flowers that Joni sent me as a congratulations for finishing our book because we worked so hard. So thank you for that, Joni.
You're
So
welcome. You deserve a garden, not just a flower bouquet. You worked your tail off.
I
Oh my
did.
golly,
Thank
you
you.
did.
But
How many
it's
sleepless nights, huh?
no, I definitely get my sleep. I definitely do self-care because my
Oh,
brain
good.
doesn't work if I don't do my self-care of my body. So,
Oh, good.
yeah. But I know that's a stereotype of writers, smoking, drinking coffee, eating junk food, and not sleeping. That doesn't work for me. Wellness is
I
rule number
cannot
one.
imagine you having a cigar in your mouth.
Right, right, right. All cool for people who enjoy that. It's just not for me. So,
Got it.
Joni, we love color and our writing is colorful, whether it's about colors, but it's also very vibrant and very energetic. And that's our personalities and our books writing reflect that. And so I always say, make those words jump up off the page and dance. And that's the reading
Oh,
experience I want people to have. It's like,
oh,
wow, this is incredible. And you can only achieve that when you allow your personal brand of energy, personality to shine through. And so think about how you dress, all you writers out there, how you dress, how you express yourself, what you surround yourself in your environment, and how can you express that in your writing? If you
yeah.
love the color black and your walls in your house are black and you have like cool purple lights and your house just looks really unique, your writing should be equally out of the box. Joanie and
Right.
I both live way outside the box. We both think outside of the boxes that society creates for people to be in. And that's the safe space. You're conforming, you're following everybody's rules, you're not making waves. However, that's super boring, especially as a writer. So you have the
Mhm.
freedom, the creative ability to just write your heart out in your own way. And that can be in fiction or nonfiction. Do you agree, Joni?
I do. And that just brought to mind, oh my God, I was thinking, where did I start to do this? And I just picked up my journal that I write in at least every day. Oh, maybe not every day, let's be honest, 3 or 4 days a week,
Okay.
and but I've been journaling ever since I was a teenager
Hmm.
because it was my prayer. It was my conversation with God. It was my love letters to Jesus. It was my fantasy love letters, I guess, to other people in one sense, and that I was just able to tell everything that was in my heart and soul. And some of it, if I opened it up, there's going to be, well, no, I probably shouldn't do that. Anyhow,
No.
there are drawings, there are big words, there are little words, there are introspective, deeper thoughts where I'm not a super energy happy person because there were times in my life that I journaled that I was not there. But those
Hmm.
are just as valuable
Hmm.
creative wise.
Creatively.
Creatively, I'm going to get that yet before the day is over.
Okay.
Creatively,
Uh-huh.
and so it's not always just happy, happy, because my life is not always happy, happy. There are times where, man, to express those deeper wounds or those deeper pains or sorrows or whatever's going through you, but to
Mhm.
express that in some of my words in here, and you can see my darker print or the pen darker and the colors that I pick. I have colors on my table here that I'm always using colors, back to color, but I think that's where I started. And maybe right now there's somebody out there and you're going, well, how can I start this? Get a journal. And
Yeah.
I think I said this last week, practice in your text messages, practice this in your emails, practice in your little love notes that you might give to somebody,
Uh-huh.
but practice and start that way. And
Mhm.
I think it just gets bigger and bolder, as you've always said, the more you do it and the more you
Right.
let that heart out of the box. No more cemented
Yes.
heart in a box. Get
Yes.
that heart out of the box.
Yes, 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 yes. I love that. So that applies to your topic as well. If you're called to write a book, it's going to be on a certain topic. And so allow that topic to be outside of the box as well. And it probably already is if you have a unique, innovative idea. So, say, for example, your book is about a topic, a how-to of um, maybe just say how to stay youthful, looking and feeling. There's
Hmm.
all kinds of information out there right now on that topic. But what if you have a radically different approach? What if
Ooh.
yours is
Ooh.
defiant of the medical establishment? What if yours is far different than all the YouTube influencers out there who are always talking about take this supplement and put this serum on your face and do this XYZ? What if yours is radically different? Write it, even if it goes against the grain of what is commonly believed or popular or trending right now. And that's what will make you stand out. The
Yeah.
sea is flooded with all kinds of people saying about the same thing. So you'll
Yeah.
stand out with your writing when you contradict or present a whole new idea way outside of the box of what's currently being presented. And that can apply to any topic. And so,
And you think back to when you were a teenager or a young person, Elizabeth, who were those authors that did that for you that were sort of like role models? And I think of some of the sci-fi books and the thriller books and those are the ones that I was into,
mhm,
and I don't remember the authors' names, but I just remember they grabbed me because they were different. They
mhm,
were different. They were really
mhm,
cool. Speaking
mhm.
of different, let me finish that. Think back when you were teenager or young adult, did you have a specific author or whatever that you followed that inspired you?
Oh, lots of them. So, for example, in 10th grade, I read The Handmaid's Tale
Oh,
by Margaret
yes.
Atwood, which ultimately became a series on TV or streaming
Uh-huh.
and it also was extremely chilling and we actually see reflections of it in our society today and people reference it a lot. But this was back a
Mhm.
long I was in 10th grade when I read that book and it
Wow.
stayed in
See?
my
Wow.
heart. But also, so Margaret Atwood, creative genius, she wrote that from a vision that she had, creative, totally outside of the box about this dystopian future. And secondly, the other idea that comes to mind is Alice Walker's The Color Purple, which has had
Oh, yes.
immeasurable success in many ways as
Yes.
the book, as the movie, with many iterations of it. Um, and a new production coming out soon, I think. So anyway, she wrote with the colloquial language of the South, of Black families, of the culture, and she presented it with pure authenticity. And that is a key to writing outside the box because she wrote the dialogue in that book and the descriptions in such a beautiful, vivid, and authentic manner that are culturally true. And that's why the book was so appealing because it was so real and
Mhm, mhm,
so powerful. So
mhm, mhm.
when you authors out there are trying to write outside the box, be as authentic as possible because your experience is probably something very unique and something that will engage people's imagination because they're curious about what you're writing, what your authentic experience has been.
Ah, that's so cool. And when you say that word authentic, you said a few words today that grabbed me. Radical, the radicalness of what you can put in print, which I think is joyously free, coming out June 1st,
Yes.
launching of the book we're doing is I think pretty radical. And I think it's extremely authentic. And I was just thinking of the word authentic, author, AUT, author, authentic. And to me, those just go together. And it's just like
Oh,
creativity. I think of creation, created,
right.
create, all
Yes.
those don't ask me nouns, verbs, adverbs. You're the English pro on that, but I just know it makes sense to me. It just expands that word to include so much. But
Hmm.
authentic, I think, and you are such a great authentic writer. So is your sister. So is your mother.
Thank
And
you.
speaking of authentic, I have to show you my new business card.
Oh,
Talk about authentic. Are you ready?
yes.
Okay, my very first business card, everybody, said, I'm writing a book. Okay, and
Hmm.
this was new for me because I had never written a book before. So it was called I'm Writing a Book. My second business card said, I wrote a book. Okay, so now my third business card, because we have two books coming, number Joyously Free is like right around the corner. And so here it is.
Oh, that's amazing, Joni. That is so
Wowzer, I
cool.
wrote three books. I wrote
Oh,
three books.
that
And
is
so,
brilliant.
talk about creative. And Sally helped me put this together. So I have all three
Oh,
books on the back. Now I have to
oh,
tell you that even though I say I wrote them, I have to be really, really clear because Joyously Free and Healing Religious Hurts, that's a teamwork collaboration with Elizabeth. That's not a me book. That's an our book. And
hmm.
so even though I have it on my business card, so it has my
Right, right.
information, but
Yeah.
in actuality, the authenticity of this book are two phenomenal writers, Elizabeth and myself. And maybe that's something for somebody who's writing a book they may want to do. They may want to collaborate and write a book with somebody else. They may want, like we did, include other contributors, which I'm so grateful for. Maybe
Yeah.
you're sitting out there going, oh my gosh, maybe myself and my sister could do this, or my cousin, or my best friend, or and I know you do. What's it called again? Where you work with somebody and they tell the story and you write the book, or how
Oh,
does
it's
that
called
go?
the official term that people understand is called ghost writing, which I don't
That's
like
it.
that word, but I call it angel writing, but nobody knows what
Oh,
that is. So it's when people hire me to write their book, and I only do that for very special books and people,
mhm,
because it's a huge process. And so,
mhm.
yeah, angel writing.
Yeah, yeah, very cool. But again, it's authenticity. It's radical. It's creative.
Hmm.
And if you're sitting out there right now, like I said, try practicing it in another way, whether it's a journal or an email or a text or whatever. So,
Hmm.
what insights do you have about being creative in writing, Elizabeth?
Being creative.
Yeah, as
Um,
you write.
Well, I've been thinking a lot about that during this process of doing Joyously Free, because there were
Mhm,
times when I sat down to write my chapters and I really didn't know what I was going to say.
mhm,
And I just sat down, and I'm deeply spiritual, just like you. And I believe that our creative genius comes from the creator. I don't take
mhm,
credit for it all, I'm the vessel. So I
mhm.
literally sat down, keyboard, put my fingers over it, and stuff started to pour through me. It was my experience and my opinions and my perspectives, but it was not all Elizabeth. It was like you said, Jesus helped you write your book, and Angel
Yes,
Carroll, your partner who's in heaven,
yes.
wife who's in heaven now, helped you write None Better. I believe God uses me as a vessel, as a tool to write. And so I literally, and I was like, oh wow, look at what I just wrote. Now, granted, I have the experience of writing and publishing like 50 books. I'm a journalist with a master's degree from Columbia in journalism. I have written for magazines, newspapers, TV stations. I have also been an English major at the University of Michigan. So my whole life is writing. So I do bring to this experience my experience and expertise that I've gleaned as a book coach, editor, publisher, author. But the message that pours through me comes from spirit, and it's mission driven. And so that is as authentic and out of the box as you can get, because spirit is not in the box.
I love it. Spirit is not in the box. Oh my gosh.
See, I
Phenomenal.
didn't
I
know.
think we need a quote on that. That could be a billboard or a thing on the internet that just blasts right through it. The spirit is not in the box. That is so good. High 10 on that one. Oh my gosh. Did everybody
Yeah.
hear that one? That is phenomenal.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So, for all of you writers out there, if you're not as tuned in as Joni and I are to spirit, and if that's just not your
Yeah.
thing, you're
Right,
still
right,
tuned into yourself. Your inner
right.
voice, your higher self is there and
Yeah,
always speaks your truth. So, how do
yeah,
you connect and listen and amplify this voice, this source of creativity? You get quiet, you shut off all the devices,
mhm,
you shut out the noise, you cultivate a space where you can think straight, not around people who are going to disrupt you or annoy you or whatever, not around anything that's just not, and not when you're in a hurry. Get silent
yeah,
and
yeah.
still, close your eyes, and ask yourself within, and just practice, flex this little muscle of how to go within and listen to your intuition, your inner
Mhm.
voice, your higher self. And it will tell you, what should I put in chapter one? Listen. And then there's this thing called automatic writing or intuitive writing, Joni.
Okay.
I learned it from my meditation teacher. It is how you allow this inner voice, higher self, spirit, whatever you want to call it, to flow through you. You just start writing.
Yeah.
Ask a
Yeah.
question like a
Yeah.
prompt.
Yeah.
Oh, see,
Yeah.
look, there we go.
Yeah.
Joni already
Yeah.
said it.
Yeah.
But here's
But
what you
yeah,
do.
I like
It's
this.
it's called intuitive writing or automatic writing. Get
Mhm.
in a relaxed state if you can clear your energy, meditate, pray, however you do that. And then start writing and let it be a stream of consciousness. It can start off saying, I just ate a spinach omelet for breakfast. It was delicious. But then let it flow into that deeper voice that's going to
Right.
share and ask to have a back and forth conversation. How should I start this book? What should be in each chapter? What is the
Yeah.
focus? Please help me write in a way that's
Yeah.
got lots of pizzazz and innovation and not just super boring, dull Dick and Jane language. If you're old enough to remember Dick and Jane books from elementary school, see
I
Jane
do.
run,
Yep.
see
See
Dick.
Spot run.
Yeah. It was like real elementary writing, basic sentences, which was to help kids learn how to read.
Yep.
But it's boring if you're an adult. You can really
Yep.
embellish your writing. So there are ways to tap within to find that authentic voice of yours to write outside the box. And it's magical. You're going to look
Yeah.
at your screen or your paper and you're going to be like, wow, where'd this come from? It's the
And
magic
it's
of
so cool to
writing.
see, you've been doing, like you just said, you've been writing for years and you still have that magic that just plops out on those magical fingers and just comes from
Yes.
the
So,
universe.
yes, thank you, Joni. And another point for writers out there to tap into this genius zone is to know when you have the best brain energy for creating.
Oh,
I
oh,
know that for me, it's in the morning when I've had a great night's sleep, coffee, and my avocado that I eat for breakfast, period. I sit down and I can write for 4 hours in my genius zone. Once
what?
I have lunch, um, my mental clarity is not as razor sharp as that morning zone. Therefore, I fiercely protect and plan around those morning hours so I can be creative. So the question to ask yourself is, when is my brain the sharpest to tap
Ooh,
into that
ooh,
genius and that supernatural connection to spirit to help you write as a vessel of this divine message you're supposed to present? In comparison, in the evening, after I've been to the gym with my trainer and eaten dinner, forget about it. I save that time for tasks that don't require a lot of heavy lifting with my brain because
mm-hmm,
I'm just not
mm-hmm,
as sharp. I'm getting tired and I don't want to make mistakes. And so I just don't go there. So know your
mm-hmm,
rhythm. Some people write best at midnight or
mm-hmm,
in the middle, in the real early in the morning, or everybody's different, but just know your own
mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
rhythm and work with
Yes.
that accordingly.
Good point. Good point. You were talking about being quiet and silent. I can think back to creative writing class in high school, and that was probably my most quietest class because we were writing as students, we were writing in class. And I remember a couple times just sort of looking up because I was in that zone of writing and then looking up and seeing everybody else, the other 20, 35 students, whatever it was, also doing the same thing, but it was so quiet and it was in an environment where it's like their vibes, everybody's vibes were connecting in a larger way that we're all putting our creative juices out there. It's really cool. I just was remembering that as you spoke.
Hmm.
That's awesome. That's
Yeah,
awesome.
yeah. No, some people do their best in a coffee shop with noise and bustling people and
Hmm.
whirring
Hmm.
the bean grinder, and it's just so noisy.
Right.
Uh, some people do best in that kind of high energy environment. I
Yes.
find it distracting. There's
Yes.
also certain types of music that can help you get in that zone,
Oh
like
yeah. Oh yeah.
whatever. It might be hard driving heavy metal, it might be Earth, Wind, and Fire, it might be classical. I personally love harpsichord, and if I put harpsichord music on, my brain is just like in this whole other zone. So,
Yep. I listen to piano music and it does that for
yeah,
me.
yes,
So I've
yes,
got
yes.
David Nuvo and George Winston and all these pianist people just doing it
Uh-huh,
too. Yeah,
uh-huh,
but I
uh-huh.
love to have that music in the background.
Hmm. Hmm.
Yeah. Very
Yeah,
cool. Very cool.
awesome. I love it. I love it. I think that Joni, you and I have provided a lot of guidance for people to write outside the box, which means to
Mm-hmm.
write something unique and innovative that doesn't adhere to all of the normal rules of writing and publishing.
Yes.
Anything else you'd like to add, Joni?
Nope. I think this has been phenomenal. Once again, I keep learning about you. I keep learning about myself, and I hope that everybody out there, and I have to send one special thing out there. Gail, I know you had your hip surgery yesterday. You had to stay one extra night in the hospital. I'm praying you get home today and all will be well. And so I'm going to write in my journal about that to help you to heal. So I love you
Oh,
so much, my big sister, Gail. So I just had to do that,
oh.
Elizabeth. So
That's so sweet. Gail, we love you. Gail has been so instrumental on this whole writing and publishing journey for Joni. In fact, she helped design the cover for Nun Better. She's a consultant, and she was there when Joni did her book trailer in Ashland, Oregon with Nick Alexander Films. You can watch Joni's book trailer on twosisterswriting.com on Joni's page. It's awesome. And Gail
thank
is
you.
just amazing. So thank
She
you, Gail.
is.
We wish you the speediest possible recovery with as most comfort as possible. So good
Exactly.
luck. Yeah,
She'll be dancing and high stepping it here pretty soon. Give her
I
time to
love it.
heal and watch out, world.
Yay, sisters are the best. My sister,
Yes, they
Catherine
are.
Greenspan, is my business partner, and she's just a phenomenal person, a true earth angel.
And if you
And
don't have a sister, you can have Elizabeth and I out there, everybody.
all right, all you writers out there, please watch all the other episodes of this podcast that Joni and I have been doing for months and months. There's so much content for you to learn from for free on how to write, publish, and promote an awesome, awesome book. Please, if you have any questions, drop us a comment here. You can reach Joni at Facebook at Joanie Lindenmeyer, and she's also on TikTok, Joanie Lindenmeyer. And you can also reach me at twosisterswriting.com and also here on YouTube. So please share this with any other aspiring writers. And please also like the video and subscribe so that you get a notification every time we go live. So,
Yes.
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 Oh, and please check out our upcoming book, Joyously Free. It is a powerful, powerful book about stories and tips to live your truth as LGBTQ plus people, allies, and parents. Joni and I co-wrote this book. It's going to help change lives, save lives, and inspire harmony, understanding, and love. That's the
Yes.
mission.
Yes.
Yes,
Beautifully.
it's
Beautifully said.
available for, thank you. It's available for pre-order at twosisterswriting.com. So please order it, share it, because it's a powerful resource and it's fun to read.
Yes, it
We
is.
wrote
Yes,
way
it is.
outside the box, didn't we, Joni?
Yes, yes, yes. Yes. And everybody out there, live outside the box today. Creatively, creatively. I finally got it after half an hour of podcast. Creatively, let your light shine.
Yes, yes, yes. Thank you, Joni. You're the best. And
Thank you, Elizabeth.
you're
Hugs and love to
welcome.
everybody. Hugs and
Woohoo!
love. Woohoo.
Everybody,
I love
happy
it.
writing and happy reading. We'll see you next week.
You got it. Bye.